welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Crime and Wine. Today we're actually here to talk about a cutie pie, a very cute babe, and I just want to, as I'm going into this case today, I want us to just keep on to the sentiment that, you know what, be a cutie pie with caution. Because these men, they like to see a cutie pie and they like to make sure she's not cute again. Anyway, today we're actually here to talk about the case of Governor Okothobado and the murder that he allegedly committed, that he's still on trial on. You know, I feel like every single case that I research in Africa, there's always, like, it's never solved. There's just never any, there's not one Kenyan case where I've just come across and it's like, finally solved. And it's like, finally solved, no other questions to be asked. There's always, but it could be, but it could have been. And it's pretty annoying because I'm just like, the justice system, what are you people doing? Are you sleeping? Are you chomaing mindy there? Anyway, moving forward. Today, we're actually here to talk about Governor Okothobado and the case of Sharon Otieno. Now, let's get right into this video. So Sharon Otieno was born in 1992 in Homa Bay County. That's like it's a place in Kenya. It's near Kisumu areas. If you don't know where that is, it's pretty far from the capital, Nairobi. She was born to her two parents, Zachary Douglas and Auma Melinda. Now, not much is really known about whether she had siblings or not. She wasn't really born to a rich family, but one thing about Sharon loved the finer things in life, and she would always tell people around her that in this life, I have to eat. I must chop life, make life not chop me. So she had that kind of character. But the thing is, Sharon had this thing where she wanted to chop life and get to places where she wanted to get to, but through networking and through relationships that she had. Now, this would really play a huge role in her getting together with her first husband, Bernard Okuta. And she got together with him. It's not really known when they got together exactly, but she got together with him right before she went to university because apparently, allegedly, she really wanted to move out of her parents' house. And like I said, she wanted the finer things in life, but she wanted to get the finer things in life through attachment, through mtu anajua kitu kidogo. She was those kind of people. Now, she got together with her first husband and he was actually working at a high school in Homa Bay County. It's called Rapogi High School. Sharon and his relationship, not much is known about it because he has continuously refused to comment, but I wish he would comment because I'm trying to cash the juice. I'm trying to cash the cash jar. But all we do know about their relationship is they had 3 children, and this was actually by the time Sharon was 26 years old. So not in a bad way. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I just think, quick side note, like when I think people have had kids and they're 26, like I'm just like, Paige, what are you doing? Like, come on, like you're 6 years away, like people having babies. Anyway, so moving on. They actually lived on campus together, him and their 3 children. Sharon actually got a placement to go to Rongo University in 2017. Now, this is really when our story starts. So when Sharon went to Rongo University, if you don't know one thing about Kenyan universities and Kenyan lifestyle, is this whole sugar baby, sugar daddy lifestyle is actually a very big part of the university culture. And you people will come for me in the comment section saying, no, it's not true, no, it's not what, but we all know it's true. So when she gets to the university, she's automatically exposed to, you know, big people driving big cars and everything. And for Sharon, someone who really wants to, you know, live lavish and live a big life, she sees this as an opportunity to get her and her 3 children the hell out of the high school place that she's living in. Like, she's seen a better opportunity. So as soon as she joins the university in 2017, early 2018, she breaks up with her man. Like, she breaks up with Bernard. It wasn't also hard to break up with Bernard because in so much as Bernard is documented as her husband because they lived together, they had children, so that can constitute a marriage, like a marital agreement or a marriage to some extent. Her family didn't acknowledge him as her husband because let me tell you one thing about tradition. Tradition in Kenya is a very big thing. You can't just take somebody's daughter and go with her without paying dowry, and you're just going with her without paying dowry. Like, are you mad? Are you sick? Is it sickness? Must be sickness and in health. Anyway, so he didn't pay dowry, so her leaving was actually not very hard. In fact, her entire family was just like, we are proud of you. You came around, you got some good goddamn sense for once. And this is around the time when she now met Mr. Okothobado, the governor of that county. Let me take a sip. You know, I'm not drinking as much because I don't like being a day drinker. She actually met the governor at a campaign for his initiatives in the county. And according to him, she was vehemently, aggressively trying to meet him outside of that kind of professional setting. She got his number and they started texting, talking, and she was like really pushing for them to meet up, for them to go to lunch, that she wanted to talk to him about something. And he's like, this is according to him, because, you know, now we can't really get the story from her, can we? But according to him, she was very much so aggressively trying to get with him. And I hate, let me just pause, I hate the narrative that's always spread about like sugar babies and stuff. Like, they're the ones who are always so apparently trying to like really violently trying to pursue you, when it's like, as a woman, you know that's not true. 9 times out of 10, that's not true. It's usually the guy who will approach you and he's like, me, I want to sponsor your lifestyle. Like, I'm feeling you, you're feeling sweet, you're looking good, I want you. So anyway, so Mr. Okoth and Sharon start a very rapid relationship. They start meeting in secret, going together to places, you know. They're doing what adults do. They're doing the doing things. And it wasn't like he was doing the doing things on the down low. Because let me tell you something about Mr. Okoth. Let us now introduce Okothobado, the the bad guy. Mr. Okothobado was born in 1957 in the same county as Miss Sharon Otieno. He also wasn't really born. He was born to an actually averagely middle-class family, as opposed to Sharon, who was poor. She was from a poorer background than him, so he had more opportunities. But he did go to public schools. He did attend the public schools, in so much as his parents could afford to pay for things. They couldn't afford to take him to a private school. He grew up in Homa Bay. He went to schools in Homa Bay, and actually later in his life, when he reached his 20s, he was a teacher at Ropogi High School. Now, that's the same high school that Sharon's first man's is currently a teacher at. So he was there for some time, but then he, according to every single person who knows him, he is a go-getter. Anything he wants, he's gonna get it. That's the Simba right there. So he really pushed hard for his life, and he made connections, he networked, and he was eventually elected to actually be the chairman of the Sugar Board of Kenya. And that's like, if you know one thing about Kenya, sugar goes hand in hand with tea. And one thing about Kenyans, they're gonna drink some tea. They're gonna have some tea. So in such a position, everybody wants to be with you. Everybody wants to know you. So this is where now he really gets his political stance. People really are reaching out to him because they want to be in touch with Okothobado. Who is this guy? And he's rapidly rising. Now, this is around the time when he now started joining into politics. Because if you don't know one thing about Kenyans, when you just get small success, like, you just want to do politics. Everybody wants to be a politician. Every person and their mother wants to be a good goddamn politician. So he now slides into politics. It was actually, he wasn't in politics for long before he was elected as the governor of Migori County in 2017. And he wasn't just elected once. No, dear. No. He was elected severally. He was re-elected again, I think 2 times again over. And his terms, I don't understand. I don't understand if it's corruption that makes these people get re-elected. I don't understand what it is that gets these people re-elected. Because there's nothing in my good goddamn senses that makes me understand. Let me read to you exactly how this man's terms in office went. Now, I'm reading it. That's how many there are. I have to read it. Yeah, he's a hush puppy. Okoth was reported to have spent 15 million Kenyan shillings of taxpayer money in importing furniture for his private residence. He additionally orchestrated an irregular procurement of ambulances for the county, costing millions of taxpayers' money with nothing to show for it. So he ordered ambulances worth millions, and no ambulances came. They asked him, Okoth, where are the ambulances? He said, I don't know. They're catching rats on the highway. Because what? How does someone get, I don't understand how he's not imprisoned. I don't understand how he's not in prison, because how do you use taxpayer money and the ambulances never arrived? Like, is that not clear evidence that I corrupted? In law, there's this thing that says the facts speak for themselves. Like, sometimes when you go to court, like, the judges, they'll just be like, honestly, this situation speaks for itself. I don't have to do this. I don't have to go there with you. And this is one of those situations. If he ordered ambulance has not come. Okoth, where the ambulance? I don't know. Anyway, moving on to his next embezzlement. So Okothobado is actually very close with his family. Him and his family are like peas in a pod. He's married to a woman called Helen Obado. The two have two children together, and this is a very close-knit family. Like, Okothobado and his family have been caught in embezzlement scandals together, to the point where it was evident that his entire family knew that he was embezzling money, and they actually accommodated for him to use their names to go and hide government funds that he has stolen from taxpayers, to hide it under their names. And it's just being reported in articles like it's juice. Yeah. It's being reported in articles like it's Chloe Bailey has dropped her mercy. Like, it's just, oh, wow, just news for the day. Anyway, that's just besides the point. Okothobado's family lived in luxury. He kept his family in a luxurious state. Like, how will you even come and oppose this man? His daughter, was reported to have such an expensive cost of living in the UK, where she went to university, that even people in the university knew her for how much she spent. Everybody was happy because they were all eating money together. And Miss Sharon Otieno, like I told you all, she's looking to eat some money. So she's seeing how this Okothobado family is going, and she shoots her shot at Okothobado, who will not refuse, because let me tell you, Mr. Okothobado is not only a thief, he's also a cheat, and he stays cheating on Helen Obado. And let me guys, this isn't the first time he's now cheating. When he gets into the relationship with Sharon Otieno, upon people investigating his relationship with Sharon Otieno, it was also discovered that Mr. Okothobado actually was sleeping with his wife's stepsister, straight out of Pornhub, straight out of a movie, because this is nonsense. He was sleeping with her, and he actually got her pregnant. She was pregnant for 5 months. And then now the entire family forced her to abort the baby. Same family actually knew about Okothobado and her, and everybody was fine with it. It only became an issue when she got pregnant. And from the pattern that it seems, Miss Helen Obado actually doesn't have a problem or a sheer problem with being embarrassed in the face of her family. The only issue she has is when it comes to her name being smeared in the good graces of the public as the First Lady of Migori County. And that's just a personal opinion. Don't quote that. Don't quote me. Don't what. That's just... it's not any sources that have said that. But anyway, moving forward. So Sharon Otieno and Okoth are now in a rampant love-stricken relationship. Meeting in corners, sneaking around. But you see, this sneaking isn't doing much because people actually know that they're together, because no one is hiding it. Why would Okoth come and hide his relationship when he literally slept with his wife's sister and she did nothing? So now, and I'm not judging you, please, like, I'm just saying that's just the status of the situation. So he's not hiding it. He's sleeping with Sharon. But then now the thing with Sharon is she is described to be a very aggressive person. Like, when she wants something, she aggressively goes for it. And she wanted to be the First Lady of Migori County. She didn't rest about it. She wanted to be not necessarily the First Lady or married, but she wanted to be kept on that status and on that level. And the second that she started getting money from Okoth through pressuring him, pushing, because he was already giving her money as a sugar daddy, but now she wanted more. And she now wanted also the status of being associated with Okothobado. So she was telling all her friends, she was telling everybody, and in so much as everybody in the county did, like, when I say everybody in the county, I'm talking about like the government, like the officials, those people, they already knew Okoth was having an affair. But in terms of like the people who are like common people, they didn't really know. But Sharon made it her duty to spread that information to everybody. She told all her friends and everybody, even her mother. She told her mother. Her mother actually found out through text. She saw text between Sharon and Okoth, and she was like, is this the same Okoth that's the governor? And she's like, yeah. And she was very proud of being associated with him. So much so that during their rampant love affair, someone actually contacted Mrs. Okothobado. This is now Helen Obado. She's now at home doing her things, and someone calls her and tells her that he is a friend of the family. And this time her husband was actually not home. He had gone on a trip. He had gone somewhere He had gone on a trip for a conference for his parliamentary whatever, for his governor whatever, and he had gone somewhere, and so she was at home and she receives a call, and it's from someone who says he's a friend of the family, and the person is just like, I want to tell you this, and I hope that you keep this confidential, but somebody is at this specific hotel. I'm not going to name the hotel because I don't want to be copyrighted or anything. Is at this specific hotel, and she's checked in under the name of your husband. And she's like, what? And she's like, yeah. The guy is like, yeah. And this girl is actually planning to film a sex tape of your husband. And Mrs. Obado is shocked. Like, she be knew her man's ain't shit, but now, like, also the girls is fuck around with ain't shit. They're trying to steal my man's credentials, and this is what she's obviously thinking, because she's obviously probably thinks her man is everything to her. Anyway, that's, by the way, it's an alleged, I'm assuming. She now calls Okoth and she's just like, someone is trying to catch you like a rat on the highway. Have you checked into this hotel? And Okoth is like, no, I haven't. And she's like, well, someone has checked in under your name, an alias, and she's now trying to catch you like a fat rat on the highway doing things. And Okoth is like, impossible, because I'm not at that hotel. Now they chunguza, like they look into it and they finally realize that, oh my gosh, it's Sharon. And let me tell you, let me take a sip. Men will not embarrass you, they'll embarrass themselves. And you know why that is? Do you know why that's the statement for today? Do you know why that's the statement for good goddamn today? Because Mr. Okothobado is embarrassing himself, acting like he could not know who this could be. And while Miss Obado knows already, she knows that you're a cheater. She knows that the person checked in there wouldn't have just gotten their name out of your arse. Like, she knows all of these things. So why are you still lying? Don't you realize that you're not now embarrassing me, you're embarrassing yourself? You look silly, you look foolish because you've been caught and you're still trying to lie. Anyway, moving past that point. Now, several months after this incident, Sharon falls pregnant. And we are now in 29 April. She has now fallen pregnant for this man. And Mr. Okoth doesn't want this kid. Mr. Okoth is apprehending unlawful violence because Sharon comes out and she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And he completely stops speaking with Sharon. He cuts off all communication with her. And now, this is now the time that he feels it appropriate to go to sit his wife down like a silly person to be telling her, I had an affair and she's pregnant. Like, you as the wife, what will you even tell this man? I would be pissed. Do you know, pissed because I asked you the first time and you denied it. Then now you're trying to bring me this nonsense. And the reason he even decided to tell his wife this is because he knew that Sharon was crazy. She was threatening to tell people. She was saying, if you don't come and chat to me and give me what I'm demanding, then I'm gonna expose you and I'm gonna tell everybody about our affair. And she had already gone around telling her family members that she's pregnant, and she's pregnant for the governor of Migori County. So this was not looking good for him. Like have an affair, that looks okay, but don't get the girl pregnant. I feel like okay, but okay. Anyway, so she was already going around telling people, and she was threatening him, and she was saying he has to answer the list of demands. And the list of demands was demanding. Let me say that. It was demanding. Let me read you the list of demands. So she demanded a house I'm reading it. She demanded a house in Nairobi that was worth around 20 million shillings and an upkeep of 3 million shillings, because she also had other kids, and by this time she was staying back home with her mother because she wasn't going to school anymore. She had dropped out. So obviously he refused. He said 3 million shillings, 20 million house. What? She wanted to buy a house in Nairobi. Like, bruh, come off it. He says no, obviously, and this is what he counter demand. He agreed to build her a 3 million shilling 3-bedroom house and to give her 280,000 shillings in 2 installments for upkeep. Now, I don't know what 280,000 shillings is supposed to do for 4 children. I don't know what that's supposed to do for 4 children, but I'm assuming that he was probably gonna just pay this for his one child that he's responsible for, because he didn't get her pregnant with the other 3 kids. Even for Sharon, was a bit ambitious of you to now try and blackmail a man into trying to, take care of your other 3 kids. I feel like that was a bit foul. Like on her side, that was a bit foul. What he was doing was a bit foul, but also on her side, that was a bit foul. And now when they couldn't come to an agreement, it became more of Okoth trying to force her to have an abortion. And then now when he tried to do that, she really took off the boxing gloves. She started contacting his family members. She took pictures of her pregnancy and sent it to his son saying, hey, see your father's child, see your little brother or sister. She now got in contact with his wife and other members of his government, other members of his staff, telling them that, hey, I am pregnant, and if you don't get him to speak to me, because now he's not speaking to her until he's trying to do stalemate, Cold War until she agrees. He's not speaking to her, and she's now like, hey, if he doesn't speak to me, I'm going to go to the press and I'm going to expose this entire thing, and this is bad. Because like I told you, Miss Otieno does not like embarrassments. And neither does the government of Kenya. So nobody's trying to be catching this smoke because he won't pay this girl. And it becomes serious when she actually goes and she gets a whole journalist to be documenting and reporting this entire story. Everybody's at the edge of their seats. And the name of this journalist is Mr. Odor. But we're gonna keep on talking about him like the journalist. I'm gonna just assign their careers to them because I don't like getting too many names involved because it gets confusing even for me. Anyway, moving on. Let me take a bit of drink. So now this entire story is unfolding, unraveling in the face of everybody. Everybody's scared for this story to pop. Here comes the journalist. He is writing, doing things. And on September 3rd, Okothobado says, okay, fine. Okay, fine. My wife already knows about this entire thing. Everybody's aware about it. So let me just take care of this child and keep it low-key, keep it under wraps. So he tells his personal assistant to give up Miss Otieno, to give Sharon a ring to come and collect a title deed to a house that he has bought for her. So Sharon is like, okay, she's gonna go. She's like, fine, I'm gonna go. But Sharon's mother tells her, don't go by yourself because this seems like a very sketchy situation. Don't go by yourself. Something could be up. Go with the journalist. So she's like, fine then. So she calls up the journalist, ring, hey, yeah, we're gonna go get the title deeds. The journalist's like, okay, fine then, let's come. Cut the call, we're going now. So they go and they meet at a hotel. I can't say the name, copyright. But they go and they meet at the hotel, and Ocha, the personal assistant this entire time is very, very on edge. He's very not personally assisting. He's very scared. He keeps on telling them that they have to leave. Sharon's like, where are we leaving to? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. She's like, we have to leave. So they finally agreed. They're finally like, okay, fine, then let's go. So they get into a car. The car is at the back of the hotel. So they go to the back of the hotel. They get into the car. By the time they're not getting into the car, whoa. It's giving weird vibes because they enter the car, they drive a bit, and then they stop, and other men enter the car. And it's now giving a little bit of Saw 5. You know that movie? It's giving a little bit of, we're about to be abducted. So now they drive a bit. I'm not actually sure. Some sources, let me put that in there. Some sources say they drove, then the abductors came in, and some say that they were in the car when they got in. Anyway. So now they're in the car with the people, and then all of a sudden, these people start strangling, these men in the car start strangling the journalist. They're strangling the life out of this man, and he manages to get free, and he jumps out of the car. However, this part doesn't make sense, because in later reports during the investigation, this man would later say that he was sandwiched in the car. So to me, it doesn't make any good sense how he was able to jump out when he was sandwiched and in a headlock. Does that make sense to you? I don't know how that kind of physiology would work. But anyway, moving on. So he jumps out of the car and he leaves Sharon in there. Of course, she can't now jump. She's pregnant. So she's now there. She's left with those people. And he jumps out and he alleges that when he jumped out, he passed out. He hit his head, unconscious, everything. Someone came, picked him up and took him to hospital. And the next day he woke up and he was at the hospital. Now, Sharon is obviously left in the car with these assailants. And she was actually found 3 days later. And she was murdered and left in the forest. She was left in Koskei forest and she was murdered. And guys, the way in which they describe the way they found her, I can't even say this on YouTube lest I get not copyrighted, lest they take this video down. But to just sum it up, it's reported that she was raped by her assailants. She was also strangled, and she also received 7 to 8 stab wounds, and most of them were to the abdomen. So they were stabbing the baby. Like, guys, what kind of human being are you to stab a pregnant? Like, No matter what someone has done, for God's sake, they're carrying a child. Anyway, that was foul. And now, sorry, I'm just so sorry. Like, that really gets me emotional. Anyway, so now it's 3 days later. He's waking up in hospital, the journalist. He's waking up in hospital, and this case really didn't take much investigations because the journalist had the tea. Like, he had the juice, he had the wine, he had it. He went straight to the goddamn police. He said, hey, yo, look, this and this happened. So this girl was murdered, and I know who did it. It was Governor Okoth, and I know why he did it. It was this, and this, and everything was just falling into goddamn place. And it also didn't help Mr. Okoth that it was his good goddamn personal assistant that was also in that car, that he got them into that car, and then they also died. His personal assistant at this point, Mr. Okoth's personal assistant at this point, has also now been dragged into this entire thing. Now, I can't even say drag because you're real foul if you're gonna let people do that to a woman as you're just there. He said that they knocked him out, and he said he woke up in hospital. Like, we're supposed to feel bad for you. Are we supposed to feel bad for you, buddy? Anyway, so the journalist is telling all the tea, and Mr. Okoth gets taken in by police. And when he's taken in by police, he now tries to spin this entire narrative that he only loved her and he called her there to make peace. So whatever happened, he can't know that they have to ask his personal assistant. How are you gonna just flip on switch on someone like that? Obviously, everything is, I'm alleging. I need to actually learn how to be neutral in these cases. Till date, it's not still been solved. He was scheduled. He was actually arrested and then released on bail. The sources aren't very sure about the bail, so I'm not going to say that here because they're very unsure. It's not that kind of unsure where it's like 23, 24. No, it's vast differences. But he was actually arrested and he was released on bail. His wife was never arrested, but she was called to tell statements. That's how actually police knew about this whole sex tape story that I told earlier on. But yeah, he's not yet gone to trial. He was to go to trial, then COVID, and then now his lawyer also again applied for an extension of the dates. And the court originally said no, but I'm thinking now apparently they want to say yes because, you know, corruption. I would have to say that. But yeah, that is the story of Miss Sharon Otieno. And I'm not going to call it Mr. Okothobado because it is Sharon Otieno's story. And I hate that they call cases after like the people who actually committed the murder. And so it's like the victims' names are forgotten. And I hate that. But so I'm not gonna let her name be forgotten. I'm not gonna do that. So yeah. What do I think about this case? I think this is a cautionary tale because I feel when we talk about sugar baby lifestyle on Twitter and all these things, it's all fun and games and it's all sugar coated. Like, yeah, just find a guy to give me money. But like, you have to understand that money is not gotten for free. So when someone is giving you money, they're expecting something back because he didn't get it for free. So you got for sure ain't gonna get it for free. And if you're just being a sugar baby, like, be careful. Be very careful because people in this world are not kind. People in this world don't want the best for you. People in this world are always rooting for you to be a failure. Be careful. Know when to leave a situation. Take care of yourself, please. And yeah, just make the right decisions for yourself because when you look like, what's the point of having money if 7 years from now you're never gonna be able to use it? Anyway, yeah. That is the case. I thank you guys so much for tuning into this case, and I hope that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I also want to add that I should have added this in the beginning, that I don't mean any type of disrespect to anyone in this video, and I will try my best to remain neutral throughout these videos. And please comment down below if I got anything wrong, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.